Azul. That was the sound of Berber, the indigenous language of Morocco. Today, 1 in 4 people speak this ancient language and it's completely different to Arabic. So who are the Berbers of Morocco? To be able to answer this question, we need to look inside of their ancient DNA. Over here, I have a Stone Age DNA breakdown of the average Moroccan. And interestingly, what we see is that around 30% of their ancestry is Ibero-Mauritanian derived. Now guys, the Ibero-Mauritanians were one of the first people to inhabit North Africa, and believe it or not, they lived in a time when the Sahara Desert was green. They contribute substantially to most North African genomes, and that's why, ladies and gentlemen, the North Africans from a genetic perspective are a unique population. But around 7,000 years ago, the climate around here started to change, and this marked the migration of people who originated in the Near East. These early European farmers introduced agriculture to Europe, and around 7,000 years ago, they actually entered inside Morocco. By doing so, they mixed with the Ibero-Mauritanians, and this combination of Ibero-Mauritanian with early European farm is effectively what makes not only the Amazigh genome, but that of the average Moroccan. Which begs the question, are the Moroccans Arab or are they Amazigh? To learn more about this, we need to leave the city of Casablanca and head all the way down to Marrakesh to speak to one of the most renowned linguists of the country.
It is generally accepted that the Tergi Amazigh, which is used in the Sahara, is the purest form of the Amazigh language. It's not the oldest, it's not the most ancient for sure, but it's the purest because, it has been isolated. The earliest forms are Saharian, from the mountains, and very far from the northern coast. So the evidence, I think, is strong.
I knew that the answers to my questions lied within the Sahara. So we journeyed deep within this landscape, and as we did, the landscape transformed. It went from the mountainous high Atlas mountains to the Souss region of the anti-Atlas, and eventually we arrived at the mouth of the Sahara. Guys, we're here today in the city of Tiznit, and I'm super excited to be here because I've actually researched this city in the past. And what I've learned is that from a genetic perspective, the Amazigh people that live here have the highest components of Ibero-Mauritanian related ancestry, specifically in this region. For those that don't know, the Ibero-Mauritanians are one of the first people to inhabit North Africa. It's the indigenous North African genetic component. When we investigate some of the people that live in this region, upwards of 45% of their ancestry is Ibero-Mauritanian derived. Tiznit has historically served as a place where people manufactured jewelry like silver, and up until recently had a pretty predominant Jewish community as well. We're going to be exploring this place before we set off track to some villages in the Souss to be able to get the full Amazigh experience. And yeah, I'm really excited to be here. It's finally good to get out of the books and be here in real life. So let's go on an adventure.
This is the blue source. In a couple hours they will start the motors and then the water will be flowing. And it's a nice atmosphere to be around. The city was created around this water source. There's a story that says that there was this lady whose name was Lella Zninia. Lella stands for like a madam. So Lella Zninia was here with her dog in a time when Tiznit did not exist. It was just a passage for caravans going through from the north to the south. And she was here with her dog. She was hungry and thirsty, and so her dog started digging the ground, and then they found this water source. And because this is a Sahrawi area, this is like a desert area, everything starts with water. So once the water was found, many people decided to stick around and settle, and the city was created.
In the Amazigh flag, the blue stripe represents water, whilst the yellow represents the desert. This underscores how important water is to the livelihood of these people who have such a deep connection to the Saharan landscape.
And this is how it looked like. So it was for sheep to drink water, and also for this water to the farms. There is aranage and people who like swim here. It's for traditional shoes for women.
Berber man, Berber.
As I continued exploring the city, by pure coincidence, I came across a man with deep knowledge of the Sahara. How you find me, bro? You are magic.
This is
You do the...
That's life, destiny life.
This one, you see,
Does it have tifinak? You think this is better than Guelmim?
better than Guelmim. You know, there is a Berber culture.
That's
Yeah. And people there, you live traditional.
You can show us, we can make video.
Yeah, we can also visit some family there.
Well, now you're on the documentary, bro, so you have to show us
welcome in Morocco.
We're about to meet with Yassin, the man that we met yesterday, who's going to show us the Sahara Desert. He's actually waiting outside right now, so let's go in and get in his car.
How are you? Yassin. How are you, brother? Good morning.
Yassin is a Sahrawi Arab, and so is his friend Saeed. These two people have lived and breathed the Sahara Desert their entire lives, and we were going to jump into their car to be led to the gates of the desert. Guys, we just left the city of Tiznit for Guelmim, the mouth of the Sahara, and as you can see, the landscape dramatically changed from mountainous with rocks, and now we've literally entered into the opening of the Sahara. If we go down maybe 100 kilometers, we'll probably be close to the desert. So we're gonna go explore this city and make our way down to some diverse landscapes. So let's go.
Yes, we will do tea also with the
So we just entered into a souk that's close to 75 years, and again, a souk is a place where people exchange goods and services. And the important thing for you guys to realize is that we're in the territory where the Sahrawi people inhabit. It's a mixed territory. You've got people that speak Arabic, you've got people that speak the Amazigh languages as well, but it's kind of entering into the realms of the Sahara. We've just picked up some camel meat, some vegetables, and we're about to go and cook it on a grill. So let's go and enjoy some tasty, tasty camel meat. From Guelmim, Yassin led us to an oasis village. This oasis town was home to a Sahrawi nomad, and it was here where we were going to learn more about the Arab identity of the region.
No?
والله لو خيرت لا درك ولا شنو بنعاود ها حق والله هو هكا باش قلت لكم بلا واد هذا معروف شوف بجميع القبائل كان يجوهون ويبركوا هنا شهر ونص ويديروا التبادل في الكلام ويجيبوا الاخبار جميع كاين يجي من الجزائر وكاين يجي من المغرب وكاين يجي من موريتان ويجي من السودان ويتلاقاو هون في قليمي هو البلاصه باش يتلاقاو يلا لك يا
Okay, for the water source, yeah.
Look. كان ديك تشوف والله
You get strong, man.
والله هذا والله لا اله الا الله وهذا ايتبع عمران ايتبع عمران
It's a tribe?
الترايب يا ايتبع عمران سيدي فني
Okay.
Berber.
City.
Yeah.
So here is mix Arab, Berber,
Berber.
all
Yeah,
mixed.
Amazigh كانت
Mixed country
mix,
here.
yeah, mix. Before he mix Berber here. When
Yes.
come Arab because too much again he go Berber.
Gotcha, I see.
Yeah.
The people who inhabit the Sahara region of Morocco today are the Sahrawi Arabs. These people are highly adapted to the Saharan landscape, and their origins actually trace back to Arabia in the 7th century. So with the expansion of Islam, there were dozens to hundreds of Arabian tribes that migrated into North Africa, and this is why, for the most part, majority of North Africans identify with this Arab identity. Linguistically, they speak the Arabic language. From a religious perspective, the overwhelming majority of them are Muslim. But genetic studies reveal something completely different. According to a variety of different papers, Arab ancestry, when detected even in communities like the Sahrawi themselves, only reaches around 15%. So this means that despite having this Arab identity behind it, genetically, the people of this region of North Africa are still linked inherently to the indigenous people who lived within the Green Sahara period. After learning how the legacy of North Africa's indigenous people lives in all groups in Morocco, I became even more curious about this region.
He's the professional man. Hey.
tried camel at Habib's house. It was very delicious. It tasted like beef. And I really learned a lot about the Sahrawi culture. They are a nomadic people whose entire livelihood is dependent on caravans, trade, markets. The camels play such an important role inside their livelihoods as well. It's very interesting to see the complexity and diversity of people that we've encountered so far. So we've encountered people from the Souss region who live at the foothills of the Anti-Atlas. And over here in the barren landscape of the Sahara, we've got a completely different people who are, whose lives are dependent on the caravans and camels, as I prefaced earlier. We're going to go continue exploring the Sahara to see what this place has to offer. We're going to hit up an archaeological site because if you remember at the very beginning of this video, we learnt that the Amazigh people have their origin and their heart within the Sahara Desert. So to fully understand the complexity of the North African identity, as well as that of the Amazigh, we have to venture deeper into the Sahara to learn more. So we're going to explore this place for a little bit and then, yeah, learn a little bit more about North African culture. So let's go. We've arrived in the oasis city of Amtoudi, which is very close to the Souss and Guelmim border. And we're having some nice tagine. We've got our aghroum, which means bread. Basahu raha. You're going to see some inscriptions that date back to more than 10,000 years ago. This city was built around an oasis, and as you can see, the geography has really protected it. It's a very unique city, so we're just going to go upstairs, up this hill, to be able to find the inscriptions. Let's go. Follow. The rocks here are predominantly shale. Guys, we've just stepped inside the Agadir Ayyad, which is a structure that dates back to over 800 years. What I find incredibly fascinating is that just adjacent to this structure are inscriptions that date back to over 10,000 years ago. The more we dig into the history of this region and the deeper we go into regions which are unexplored, the more we realize about the enigmatic history of the Moroccan people. It's one which is shrouded in mystery because of the desertification of the area, but I really feel optimistic that if people spend some more time researching and digging into this region, they can come up with some really good conclusions, not only about the Moroccan people, but about humanity itself. We have to take into consideration that Morocco has the oldest Homo sapien fossil, the Jebel Irhoud skull, which dates back to over 300,000 years ago. So I really feel like the history and the archaeology here is largely underestimated. We're gonna go continue walking up. There's a few more inscriptions that I want to check out, and man, I'm just so happy that I came here because I'm learning a lot more about the history of this region. So let's go. I knew that in order to learn more about the Amazigh identity, I couldn't just learn about their history, but instead I had to see how it lives and breathes in the modern villages and towns today. So we left the city of Amtoudi, we packed our bags and we headed off to Agadir, the largest Amazigh city in all of Morocco. Guys, we're in a traditional Amazigh bazaar known as a souk, and this is where people trade goods and services, specifically vegetables. And it's very common in Amazigh culture for people to congregate in a specific location to buy their produce. Beyond the bustling souks, the heart of Amazigh culture oftentimes lies within its smaller villages. Through a local contact, I was invited to the small city of Hassi al-Bakr, where I met with Malika Asamat, a woman making a difference within her community.
Yes, my name is Malika Asamat, and my husband Ali, Jez. And we're here in Morocco, in a small village nearby Sidi Bibi, in a village called Hassi al-Bakr. We are here at the foundation that I started with my niece, my family, and I had time because we don't have children, and I want to do something to have a meaning in life. Yeah, the situation in this village for the women is a little bit difficult, so I wanted to do what's in my power to help the children here. We can all make a change together. 3,
2, 1. The foundation Malika started with her family is Moral Compass NL. With it, she's tackling the village's challenges by directly empowering local women and ensuring children in Hassi al-Bagha get better access to education. Alright guys, so we just went to Melika and Ali's village, which was absolutely fantastic. We had an awesome feed. And what I learnt today is that, Amazigh, just in general, Moroccan society is mixed. It's not just a monolith. You can't just label it as one thing or another. Because oftentimes when we're looking into regions, we like to think as populations as just being one thing or another. But in reality, in many of the larger villages, I'm not talking about the isolated ones, there is a diversity of the identity. And the important thing is that these people all see themselves as, brothers and sisters. There's not that much of a distinction. And I preface this, it's important for us to understand this because we oftentimes like to put differentiating factors in when it comes down to our neighbors. But in reality, these people have been coexisting with each other for hundreds of years and they all see themselves as Amazigh, but they also see themselves as Moroccan. So I'm grateful for the experience of what I learnt today, and I'm excited to see the true diversity that this country has to offer. So let's end the day, let's go for a walk and see what else unfolds. This spirit of shared Moroccan identity and exploring diverse roots finds its expression in Amazigh art and music. To see this firsthand, we finally arrived in the historic city of Agadir. We're here today in the city of Agadir, the largest Amazigh-speaking town in all of Morocco. As a matter of fact, close to 53% of the population here speaks Tashlahit, an Amazigh dialect. And Agadir in the 1960s was actually ravaged by a massive earthquake which destroyed many of its ancient architecture. As a result, we've come to the Medina, which is a reconstruction of how the architecture in the region would have looked like, and we're about to have an interview with two renowned Amazigh singers known as Sarah and Ismail, who are going to tell us more about Amazigh culture. So let's go and join Sarah and Ismail.
So we're Sarah and Ismail. We do content creation on Instagram, YouTube and other social media platforms. We mostly play music. We rearrange all the music, Ruwais, Amazigh troops, etc. Ismail is a music composer. So what we do is we take those old songs, mostly Ruwais from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and then we just rearrange it. And the idea behind is to make our generation and younger generation listen to this music, because it's a different music from the music we listen to today. Yeah. And the role is to make it simple, to make the lyrics understandable, so we have a bigger audience, and to also revive those songs through our music. So I think Morocco is a melting pot, and there are so many cultures, and I think we need to embrace our identity through all this diversity, and we need to start doing a research within and connect with our ancestors. I think there was definitely a disconnection through time in Morocco, and we are not here to blame anyone and to ask questions or anything, but what we really need to do is to try to find answers to our questions. And there is nothing wrong, and there is nothing wrong with searching for answers. It's for the only reason to understand ourselves better. So I would also tell all these people that think that asking questions means division. I absolutely disagree. I think asking questions will lead to unity, and that's what we want. And the answer is not only DNA, the answer is also the soul identity, who we are. When we are in this land, I personally, when I'm in this land, I feel deeply connected. You can do my DNA right now. I know I'm from here. I feel it and I know it. And I think we need to embrace that, and because that's who we are.
When we learn about human origins, we're not only learning about our neighbours, but inherently we're learning about ourselves. There is a shared human connection, ladies and gentlemen, that connects us all, and my job and mission is to be able to share that with you. So join me on the next adventure, make sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.